questions. Today, we're going to be hearing from Ayman Botros, leader of North American Hybrid Solutions Presales for HPE. Ayman has over 30 years of experience in the industry, the last 23 of which he's spent with HPE. Today, he meets with customers to share insights on technology trends in the market, new solutions that are being developed, and best practices for transformation. Ayman is an absolute treasure trove of insights, and we look forward to him sharing some of his gold with us today. Ayman, great to have you here with us.
Melanie, thank you for having me, and thank you all for joining us. I know it's summertime and everybody's kind of gearing up for vacation or just got back from vacation, so I do want to thank you for taking the time to spend it with us today.
And thanks for being here. So before we get started today with today's presentation, we've asked Ayman to share with us an update from HPE Discover. HPE Discover is HPE's global tech conference, and it happened actually just about a month ago. Their conference is attended by thousands of customers, just like Quadbridge. Our team was there, and during this year's event, they made a number of really exciting announcements that are going to impact HPE's direction for the future, as well as some really exciting new solutions that are coming to market. Ayman, what can you share with us? What were the big announcements made at Discover that, and what do they mean for those we have on the line with us today?
Wow. We made a lot of exciting announcements this year, and what I pride myself on being part of HPE is the amount of innovation that we do at HPE. And HPE Discover, we hold it on an annual basis. This is where we announce the latest, coolest technologies out there. This year, HPE Discover had a theme where we had Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, join our CEO, Antonio Neri, on stage, and we announced some key announcements that are specific to AI in particular, and I'm sure everybody's talking AI these days. It's in the news, it's in your social media, it's on TV, everybody's talking about AI, so certainly this is the AI time. And I think Jensen said, this moment in history is for NVIDIA is an iPhone moment where NVIDIA has done a lot of investment, and we are thrilled to be joining partnership with NVIDIA to actually deliver these key announcements. There was a lot of innovations announced at HPE Discover. I'm just going to highlight a few that we're going to be talking about. The first one on the left, it's the HPE Private Cloud AI. This is something that HPE and NVIDIA co-designed together. They spent a lot of hours and a lot of weeks and months co-developing this. These are innovative solutions to provide you with a private cloud that is tailored and geared towards AI. You're going to get a box that is designed. The infrastructure is designed for AI. It's HPE best-selling servers accompanied with NVIDIA GPUs. In addition to some software tools that will allow you to leverage the AI. Those tools are HPE tools as well as NVIDIA tools. These tools are going to allow you to do inferencing and do RAR. These tools are designed by both companies, and they're going to be very valuable to you. So think of it as AI in the box. If you want to do AI in your environment, then you just go get this box with the tools. And if you want to add services from HPE and NVIDIA as well as Quadbridge, you can do that to help you actually start your AI journey. So this is one really cool thing. The other thing as well, which was really groundbreaking, and that's only at HPE, is that we co-developed a hardware or a server that is co-developed between HPE and NVIDIA. No one else has that. It's not an Intel-based chip. It's not an AMD-based chip. It's an ARM chip, the base server that is designed between the two companies to help your AI journey. So again, this is a groundbreaking and innovative solution that is only available through HPE and NVIDIA. There were other key announcements. We announced Gen 12 servers. This is based on the latest Intel and AMD processors. These are just general use servers that can be used anywhere. and for any workload. And again, this is innovation at its best. And then the other key announcements, and I guess there is a lot of market buzz around this: virtualization. There is a challenge in licensing these days, and there is a challenge in virtualization. A lot of customers are looking for various options. So we have come up with our HPE virtualization solution. However, I do want to make sure that everybody understands what is HPE virtualization. Basically, we took the open source KVM and we've layered on our orchestration tools as well as our hypervisor enhancements, and this to provide the customer with an option for virtualization. The one caveat is this is a bundled solution, so you can't just get HPE virtualization on its own. It is part of our private cloud offering. So if you want to get into the private cloud world, which we're going to be talking about later on today, we have this as an option. You can choose the HPE virtualization option, or you can choose your virtualization provider if you have already a standard. So again, this HPE virtualization announcement, as well as HPE private cloud AI, those are the two key themes moving forward. And from HPE, and you're going to see Quadbridge talking to you a lot about this as well. So definitely looking forward to kind of do a deeper dive conversation with each one of you, with the rest of your extended team at your premise, or I'm happy to kind of follow up further. So Melanie, this is really the key highlights from HPE Discover. There's a lot more. Definitely, we can provide a detailed update. The Quadbridge team can provide you with a detailed update as you wish. However, those are the real highlights.
Awesome. Thanks, Ayman. Yeah, absolutely hitting those those buzz topics today. AI and a couple interesting product releases there. And I know everybody's curious about the alternatives in the virtualization market. So for everyone on the line, if you're interested in learning any more about those solutions, please go ahead and talk to your Quadbridge account representative. We're happy to share a bit more information. Thanks, Ayman, for a little bit of an update there. All right, everyone. Now I'd like to officially bring you today's presentation titled Navigating the Cloud Landscape, Maturing, Securing, Transforming. Today, we're going to be talking about the evolving cloud landscape and how businesses are solving these emerging challenges that are coming from AI and other sources. So today, we're going to hear about the data problem, the emergence of edge. We're going to talk about repatriation, the trend of containerization, talk a bit more about AI. Of course, we're going to be talking about security and much more, all with the aim of giving you a full view of the current landscape. And with that, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more about this one. Over to you.
Thank you, Melanie. Folks, really, the purpose of today's presentation is just have a very high-level conversation, open the doors, and then what I will look forward is for you to engage with the Quadbridge team, and I'm happy to join any of these conversations or anyone on my North American team to kind of help you as well, dive a little bit deeper. This is just to kind of talk about industry trends. I travel a lot based on my role. I meet with a lot of customers across the North American region, and we have a lot of good conversations. So I kind of put some best practices together and what I'm seeing in the industry and what are we working on as HPE. So look, if you don't know this already, you're not here in the world. Data is becoming the new gold. Data is the new oil. Data is everything today. The fact that today, in the past, when we had IT or when we had a data center somewhere and we all went into that data center, sit in an adjacent room, and we started entering data through terminals, that was the old days. Today, all businesses are using their phones. So it's not just the data center now, it is all the distance between your phone to the data center to the cloud. So and data is just flying. If we were in a live room and we're sitting in front of each other, if I put my hand like this, I'm going to grab some data and do something with it. So, and the clever business, or the business that leverages their data the most, are going to be the businesses that are most successful. What do you do with this data? How do you mine this data? What value do you get out of this data? And how do you maximize and monetize this data and help your business? So definitely data is everywhere. It's in all kind of industries. The question is, how do you use this data and how do you leverage it? I also want to talk about a concept that is important, which is the edge, because the edge is becoming more and more relevant in the market today. And basically, in the past, for those who are old timers like myself, we started with mainframes in the 1960s, and everybody, know what's a mainframe. It's a big room. It's a computer that is a big, that fills a big room, and there was a lot of terminals, dummy terminals connected to it, and everybody did data entry in the room beside it. In the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, we came into the client server world, and then in the 2005, we came into the mobile world and into the cloud, where everything in the cloud now is moving to the cloud. And then in 20, I would say 15-ish, between 2015-ish and 2020, the edge has become really a key driving factor for data and a key driving factor for businesses. And we define the edge as where your business meet your clients. We're all working, whether you're in manufacturing, whether in your retail, whether you're in healthcare, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the edge. So how do you manage the edge? How do you manage the security around the edge? How do you, manage your business? This is going to be key. And one important thing about the edge is, think of autonomous cars. When you're driving a car on the street and you're about to hit somebody, a pedestrian, do you want the car to make the decision, or do you want the decision to be made in the cloud? So, or in the data center. So you really want the car to make that decision. You cannot afford a millisecond of delay to make that decision. So it's exactly like this for every other business. So this is going to be key in a lot of things. I always like to tell stories. We at HPE take our quality seriously. So when we're making our servers, we had 5 high definition cameras checking the quality of the servers. Each high definition camera would take a picture. It's about 10 megabytes. This 10 megabytes, multiply that by 5, so 50 megabytes. We uploaded that to our data centers. We did the analysis of the pictures through the AI engines that we have. We trained our AI models. What does a good server look like? There are no bends, no loose connections, memory DIMMs and CPUs are inserted properly in a certain way. All these great things about, getting a qualified server. And that took us 21 seconds to kind of do that check and release that server into the shipping and receiving. What we did is that we moved our AI engines and we moved our servers to the edge. So in the factory, we managed to reduce those 21 seconds into 1 second. So it takes us 1 second to decide the quality of our server. That is a huge advantage. Of course, this is servers. Think about cars, car manufacturing, think about any kind of manufacturing, think about all the use cases that apply to you. So again, this is the beauty of the edge, as well as using and leveraging the AI capabilities that you implement within your business. So let's talk about hybrid. It's a hybrid word. The cloud became a buzzword back in 2005-ish to 2006-ish. And as humans, we always follow the buzzword. So we started kind of embracing the cloud and moving things into the cloud, which is definitely it was something that made our life easier. However, over time, we started to discover, well, cloud is not the answer for everything. In order for you to have a successful cloud implementation, you need to have native application that is designed for the cloud. There is sometimes it has to be a net new development, or it's got to be agile as well. However, look, we're all in IT, we're all in business. We've done this for quite some time. You're going to have those applications that somebody designed them and they retired 15 years ago, and it's running on a server that nobody wants to touch, nobody wants to get, nobody wants to log into it. It's running, just leave it this way. It's delivering the results it needs. So what do you do for this? Also, there are the challenges of sovereignty, with all the compliance rules that we have in Canada. You can't really put customer data in the cloud where it can't leave the country. Security, data gravity, control, compliance, interdependencies with other systems, and sometimes performances as well. So as of today, really, 2/3 of the applications or workloads remain on premises. So what do you do there? How do you manage that? Based on the analysis and based on the industry analysis, this is the main three kind of pillars. So in the banking, 73% of workloads are still on premises and 27% in the cloud. In healthcare, 77% on premises and 23% in the cloud. And in utilities, 86% is on premises and 14% in the cloud. Of course, if you belong into one of those verticals, your ratio may differ because you have some efficiencies different, but certainly on average, this is how the industry is performing. So what do you do? Look, the cloud has been a fantastic experience. It's easy, it's few clicks, and you got your virtual machine up and running. There is a lot of services that are built for you. There is really no tax on IT, system admins and IT leaders, because everything is ready and nice and set up and menus and clicks. So there is a lot of headache that gotten taken away from you. We at HPE, we made the decision to kind of embrace the cloud. What we did is that we moved some of our applications to the cloud where it made sense, and we kept some of the applications that did not make sense. As an example, we're using Office 365 in the cloud. We're using Workday in the cloud. If you're not familiar with Workday, Workday is an HR tool, so all of our HR systems are in the cloud. Those made sense. But our SAP, manufacturing, CRM environments, we kept them on premises because we could not afford to have them in the cloud. So based on what I said, as I mentioned, the cloud experience is nice, it's cool, it's easy. You really need to have a seamless experience or a similar experience on premises. Last time I was in Vegas, I got invited to a cool event where I got to drive a red Ferrari 480. Of course, this is my first time driving an exotic car. I had a blast. I drove it on a racetrack. It was fun. It was exciting. It was the best time being me on the road. However, when I got out, I had to drive my rental Toyota back to the hotel. Experience is not the same. So definitely you want to have the same experience when you're using public cloud. You have the same experience when you're using your private cloud. And this is what we do best at HPE. We've built our private cloud system that provides you with the same experience that you get into the public cloud, so that you have a seamless experience, the same experience. You don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel again. It's all menu driven, it's all click, it's all cloud based. However, it is in your control, it is in your premises, it is in your data center. Today, this is a typical customer environment. So on your left, you got your traditional IT, the applications that are running on bare metal, or the applications that are running on virtualization, your server, your storage, your network. all of that, and you have it in your data center, or maybe have it in your colo. And then all the way to the right, you have some of the applications in the public cloud, whether it's Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. And then in between, you have your private cloud. Some of you have your own private cloud, and some of you do not. And then there is the containers platform as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about containers just in a few slides ahead. But this picture that you see is really what a customer environment would look like today. You don't have to have all the bubbles today. You may have the left one, the right one, maybe the left and the right one, and then the in between, you may have some of it or you may not. But a typical customer environment today looks like that. The maturity model, basically, we've built this kind of slide to showcase where our customers are. So if you're at the beginning of your journey, you're likely limited cloud, maybe using software as a service. You don't have cloud ops, you've got siloed IT, some legacy apps, and no data plan. And then as you mature in your journey, you've done maybe lift and shift, you have siloed cloud, you have some modern apps, you have some skill gaps in the cloud, and then you have some cloud operations team. And then level 3, level 4, and level 5. Definitely, and you got to look at where your business is at today, what level are you in, what maturity level are you in, and where do you want to go as well. If you're at 1 and you're happy and it's delivering the results you're hoping for, then don't reinvent the wheel. Stay there. If it's working for you, fantastic. If you're at 2, fantastic. If you are at 1 and you want to get to 4 or 3, again, there isn't really a certain recommendation that I would recommend to you. You need to be at 5. It really depends on the business that you're running, your goals, and how are you going to get there, and what's your budget. Because at the end of the day, it's really about budget. These are some questions that I put together for you. So, these are the questions that you need to ask yourself and you need to ask your team before you embark on your cloud journey. How are you planning to move to the cloud? What are the services? Are you gonna, what is the cost? Are you gonna manage it yourself? Are you prepared? Is your team prepared? Are you gonna, do you understand the cost? A lot of customers that I talked to today, they invested a lot in the cloud and they are shocked to see the bill at the end of the month because they did not account for so and so. So these are some of the things that you need to ask yourself. Then you need to ask yourself, what are we moving? What are the cloud native services that we have? What workloads are we gonna move? Can we actually move those? What are the constraints? What is the migration process? Is it offline, online? What are going to be the ongoing costs? I'm going to tell you an example. This is public, so I can share this. NASA had almost 2 petabytes of high definition pictures of the moon and Mars and all these cool pictures. And they were putting it on their local storage, and it was just costing them a lot. So somebody decided, why are we doing this? We're going to actually upload to the cloud and kind of relieve that storage to be used in our projects. And they started the process, and they did that. And I think 1/3 of the way, somebody asked a very smart question, but they never accounted for. When we as users go to the NASA website and click on these images to see them, guess what? We're downloading these images to our laptops or phones or whatever. Guess who's paying for that download? It's NASA. They did not account for that. So they kiboshed the project immediately. So these are some of the things that you need to ask yourself and understand how your application works, how your workload works, what is the degress charges, what is the egress, all these things that you gotta ask. And then finally, why are you doing this? How, is it just because you want to say I'm in the cloud, or there is really a real need for you to do this, or why are you doing all of this? Melanie, I've been yapping a lot and I haven't seen questions. So any questions so far?
Hey, Ivan. Yeah, we had one question come into the chat while we were on the we were on the hybrid maturity model, but I
Mhm.
think you answered it. But yeah, it was just around where should we be aiming to be on that model? But I think you ended up answering that one.
As I said, yes, it's fluid. It really depends on your goal. If you're a perfectionist and want to be using top-notch tools, then you need to be at 5. However, let's be realistic because getting to 5 is going to cost you a lot. Do you have the budget? As I said, are you getting your needs and delivering your business results if you're at 1 or 2 or 3, or you're not? So again, the question is, it depends. The answer is, it depends. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like it really starts with a business needs assessment and aligning to your points here, what you're going to do with why you're doing it.
Yeah. All right. So containers, and HPE has a fantastic offering. It's called HPE Emerald. This is our container platform, and the way I talk about containers today is basically the way I see containers today is what virtual machines were in 2003. Everybody knows virtual machines in 2003. Everybody's aware that they're, everybody's kind of talking about them. They're starting to deploy them. Containers is in the same stage today. However, um, it's gonna skyrocket. Everybody's gonna be using containers. Everybody's gonna, leverage containers down the road. So if you haven't dabbled with containers yet, my advice to you is start looking into it. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. And as we kind of go more into public cloud and private cloud, definitely your life is gonna be, easier when you're dabbling with containers. So why containers? And again, I'm not going to deep dive into this, but what I would like to say, why containers? Containers sit on top of your virtualization or top of your bare metal. So if you're migrating apps or workloads, it's easier to kind of migrate and move from one platform to another, regardless of the underlying hardware and the underlying compliances. Also, it helps with next generation cloud native apps. Uh, you want to standardize on containers. Also, think of your DevOps. If your company reached a maturity level where you have DevOps teams, definitely with containers, it makes your life as an IT organization a lot easier when you're dealing with containers so that the DevOps teams have efficiency and can do a lot of work and testing before rolling stuff into production. It's done a lot easier in containers rather than virtual machines. We've kind of gathered some information. Containers. By the way, our HP Emerald is based on Kubernetes. It's an open standard, and we took that and customized it and did a lot of work with it. This is why we're offering our virtualization platform as well. More than 85% of businesses are using containers one way or another. 40% on-prem, 38% in Azure, 33% AWS, 27% in Google, and 26% unleveraged elsewhere. Before I talk about security, Melanie, any other questions?
No new questions in the chat, but I will remind everyone you are welcome to add questions into the question panel on the right side of your screen anytime during today's presentation, and we'll be addressing them as we go. We'll also have some time at the end of today's session dedicated for more Q&A.
Good. All right, so security, I can't stress enough about how the importance of security and how security is crucial to everything. The challenge today, or in the past, you had your systems, computer systems in the data center in a locked cage. The key is locked. Nobody can access it, and you're sitting in the terminals room beside that computer system, and you're entering data. Guess what? Today, a lot of us do their work over these smartphones. Whether we like it or not, it just made our life easier. So now I get one of those funny jokes from my friends on WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever. I click a link, somebody takes over my phone, And guess what? Somebody takes over my corporate business, takes over my corporate email, takes over my corporate apps that I have on my phone, and I am exposed, and you're exposing your entire company to it. Or, being the nice Canadians we are, you find a USB stick thrown in your parking lot. You want to see who does it belong to. You plug it in your laptop. Guess what? You expose your entire business. So none of us really want to expose their business, and none of us want to be in the media, and with their company exposed to a ransomware attack, or you know, a data leak or whatever. Back in 2021, the bank processed $1.2 billion in ransomware payments. I am told that we are more than $5.6 billion being spent as ransomware payments. So definitely, we do not want to be spending this kind of money, and we do not want to expose ourselves. This is really how a cyber attack happens. And really, I'm not going to go through this, because guess what? Hackers develop their skills. And, if you recall, when we used to buy laptops with Norton antivirus, and they updated the antivirus every single day, because the virus new viruses are being added every single day. So this is exactly what the hackers excuse me, are doing today. So the latest I've heard, and again, this is the latest I've heard about the hackers, how they do things. Of course, that could change now, but the latest story I've heard was they actually hack into your system. First of all, it takes about 120 days before a hacker actually attacks. They actually kind of exploit your system, get all kind of informations, and what they do is that they don't target your applications. All they do is target your OS IO filter, and they actually put a keychain where it actually encrypts all the data that is going through your IO system, your OS IO system, and they wait for 120 days until your entire data is encrypted. And on D-Day, they just remove that key. So all your data is encrypted. You have no access. You're done. I'll tell you a story about a healthcare customer in the US. What they did is that they got attacked by hackers. All their systems were down. They were down for 3 days. They refused to negotiate with the hackers. What they did is that they rebuilt everything, and after 3 days, they started working again. Fantastic. They worked for 1 day, and then they were down again. They lost all the servers that they built. The good thing is that they did not, they were still somewhat operational, because not all their servers were from the same brand. And I have to throw this plug, that servers that were working were HPE servers, lucky us. But anyway, they were down again, and they were down again for 5 days, trying to do a complete sweep of how are they getting attacked. They got back up and running, and they went down for the third time. Again, they took 2 days, but this time they discovered that the hackers are attacking them through a security camera. The hackers embedded the files, or their exe files, in that security camera, and they attacked them through there. So look, in this world where everything is connected, it's not easy to protect yourself. So I'm not going to tell you there are bulletproof solutions out there that's going to protect you 150%. I'd be lying to you. Everybody's going to be attacked at some point. The question is, are you making it difficult enough to be attacked? And then how fast are you going to be able to recover? This is how you need to think about your approach, and this is how you should plan. I'm going to throw a quick plug in here. This is something called Azerto Vault. This is an HPE solution. The Qualbridge team can talk to you in details about it, but this is basically an air-gapped solution that protects your system. It has on the left here, there is the production side where you're running production, but then there is a disconnected air-gapped resilient vault that protects your app. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is not a cheap kind of offering. This is an expensive offering, so you do not want to do it for your all of your IT. However, you want to target the key applications or key workloads that you want to protect them with this type of solution because you can't afford to go down. This is a fast recovery way. This does not protect you from hacking. This is a very fast way for you to get back online by protecting your key applications. If your main business is totally reliant on your website, then I suggest you kind of design this for your website. If I don't know, if you're a bank as an example and your online banking is the most crucial one, or your trading is the most crucial one, then I suggest you kind of get that solution for it. Again, folks, you're going to get hit one way or another. The question is how fast you can get back online. Can you afford to be down for a day, 2, 3, 5? Or do you want to get back online up in hours? Even if you have backups and backups, if the hackers already encrypted your data, your backup is already encrypted. So you're not going to be able to restore from it. And if you're lucky and you manage to have backups that were not encrypted, well, you lost how many days of data? And what is your backup? Is it on tape? Is it on disks? How long are you going to be able to kind of get back online? So think about this because, again, these are some of the challenges that I speak with, the day-to-day, directors and CIOs and CEOs about the challenges that they have. Any questions, Melanie?
None right now.
Okay. And then finally, when it comes to security as well, it's got to be end-to-end security. Don't just secure your data center. Don't just secure your cloud. Don't think about security after the fact. Think about security from the source as well. Supply chain. Can you guarantee that the system board or the server or the storage unit that you've got does not have a chip from one of those embargoed countries? And I'm sure everybody read in the news a few years ago, a specific country planted a chip on the system boards that they manufacture, so that if that system board ends in a bank or ends in a federal agency, they can have access to it and do stuff. So you really want to make sure that your hardware or your infrastructure provider is taking all the necessary measures to guarantee that there is nothing like that in your hardware. Even if they guarantee that, what are they doing in shipping and receiving? Because somebody can intercept that shipment and still plug in something or modify the firmware as an example. So again, these are some of the things that you need to kind of think about when you're talking security. And then quickly, I want to talk about our HPE GreenLake platform. This is really basically our private cloud offering. As I said, it's our private cloud offering that provides you the same experience as you get with the public cloud, same kind of similar type of interfaces, similar kind of things. You can actually make it easier so you as an IT organization don't have to be involved in creating and building a virtual machine for your end user. They can self kind of build that. All they got to do is, hey, I want this much memory, I want this much IO, I want this much processing power, and within 3 clicks, they've got their platform up and running. The beauty about HPE GreenLake is that this is, it covers you from the edge to the cloud. All of our solutions are included in this. And definitely the cloud, the Qualbridge team can talk to you about this and do a deeper dive. So HPE GreenLake, as I said, if you do not want to be in the data center business and you're sick of running your data center, that's no problem. We can host it in a colo. Your Qualbridge team can help you with hosting it as well. So that is easy to do. If you do not want to be in the IT business, you don't have enough resources to manage the day-to-day stuff, the patching, the firmware, rolling these things in and out. That's okay as well. Your Quadbridge team can help you with that. We at HPE as well can help you with that as well, so we can manage it and host it for you. We've also partnered with Equinix as a partner to host uh, technology environments and infrastructures on your behalf as well. The good thing about HPE GreenLake, it's really something that is unique from an offering perspective, because today, when you have a new workload or a new project, you go and buy, let's say, some server and storage. What we tend to do as IT people is we actually tend to kind of oversize a little bit, because no one wants to get that call in the middle of midnight. We're short of memory, or we're short of capacity, or we're short of CPU cycles. So we kind of tend to actually spend a little more. From a finance perspective, this is money that is not being utilized, because I'll tell you, on average, you're pretty much 40% of the time, actually 40 to 60% of the time, your infrastructure is idle. You're not using it to its maximum capacity. Thus, you're kind of wasting kind of money from a finance perspective. So from an HPE GreenLake offering, we kind of take that burden off your shoulder. So we agree and we design the system. Our engineers work with you to evaluate your workloads. What do they really use? How do they really use it? What is the peak time? And then basically you get your reserved capacity that satisfy most of your workloads. However, we also add buffer capacity that we agree upon. The reserve, typically a reserved amount would be 80%, and then we have up to 20% buffer capacity. We can change that. We can do 50-50, 60-40, 30-70. We can always kind of design that together. However, the hardware is already installed. The hardware is already in your systems. So when you need that capacity, you just turn it on, and you can do scripts as well. Like, we have all the tools that allows you to do that. It can turn on, and you only start to pay for that extra capacity when you actually use it. If you use it, let's say you have a big batch job at the end of the month, and it needs additional CPU cycles, additional memory cycles, additional disks, whatever it is. Again, you can turn that on at the end of the month, and once you've done with your batch job or whatever migration you're doing or whatever you're doing that, and you don't need that extra capacity, you turn it off, and then next month you pay less. So again, these are some of the flexibilities you have. So there are multiple offerings out there in the market. So nothing really compares to HPE GreenLake, because those offerings are more of leasing type models. They're not a platform. They're not cloud enabled. They're not providing you with all the management. And as I said, it is very flexible. If you want to be in the data center business or in the IT business, fantastic. If you don't want to do everything yourself and you want to farm it out, we can do that on your behalf. This is how flexible and easy HPE GreenLake is. The good thing as well, we've partnered with all these companies. So if your backup is, I don't know, Veeam, or your backup is Commvault, or whatever your backup system, it could be part of your GreenLake agreement. It could be under the GreenLake agreement, and you only pay for what you use. And the good thing is, and I forgot to mention that with HPE GreenLake, we have 3 years terms and 5-year terms. Your prices are locked in during that duration. So if your backup software provider increases their prices in year 2, you're protected. If we increase our hardware prices in year 2 or 3 or 4, you're still protected. You're paying what we agreed upon in the first, when we inked the contracts. That is big, and that is important as well, because that's a key differentiator for HPE GreenLake. And then finally, those are some of our customers that are signed up on GreenLake. I'm a big BMW German cars fan, so I'm going to talk about BMW, but happy to talk to you afterwards on any of the other vendors. BMW had a problem where they had they pride themselves on the engineering of their cars, on the technology they put in, of how well the cars are designed. And I'm sorry if you have a problem with your car, that's not my problem. However, they pride themselves on this. And of course, they don't have one engineering team. All their teams across the world collaborate. So they cannot put their workload, this specific workload, in the cloud. However, they wanted the cloud-like experience. So the people in Germany can collaborate with the people in Japan, can collaborate with the people in North America. So they've asked us to help them with HPE GreenLake to build their own private cloud where everybody's collaborating at the same time. And really, if they have a new car coming out, and they don't have to wait to procure additional hardware. They already have the extra buffer and the extra capacity on-prem so that they can turn it on without having to kind of go and renegotiate their cloud contracts or go buy new hardware. And for companies like that, manufacturing espionage is big. So again, that could be triggers. Oh, BMW is working on a new car and we figured this out because they went to the cloud provider and asked for extra capacity, as an example. So these are some of the things that private clouds help you to do. Melanie, any questions? I know we're almost at the end of the presentation, but I do not want to skip the hot topic AI. I'm just going to briefly talk about it. Any questions, though?
Yeah, let's continue along. No questions right now.
Okay. As I mentioned, AI, that's all what we hear about these days. And no, AI is not going to take over and we're all going to be out of jobs. I'll tell you, there are going to be jobs that are going to be eliminated, but we just need to retool. That's creating a lot of jobs out there in the market. And whenever somebody, a family friend comes to me, hey, my son or daughter are thinking about studying, what is your recommendation? I say, go AI, go to school and university, learn and get a degree about AI and development in AI. That's really the future. From a server's perspective, in 2025, there's going to be a $35 billion spent just to buy servers for AI. In 2026, the AI market will be $380 billion. IDC forecasts that Gen AI alone will grow 2 times. And then by 2034, IDC forecasts that Gen AI will add $10 trillion to global GDP. This is the future, folks. So definitely let's kind of get on it. I'm not going to go through this. HPE, the Quadbridge team can kind of arrange that follow-up conversation with all of you. It's AI is not just infrastructure. We have certified solutions. As I said, we just announced in HPE Discover the co-development that we're doing with NVIDIA, and I call it AI in a box for you. These are all the services and all the tools. So it's the infrastructure layer, the connectivity layer, the orchestration, the machine learning and AI platforms, the libraries and the apps, bundled with the HPE GreenLake model with all the services to make your life a lot easier. So again, I'd really encourage you to have the conversation with your Quadbridge team to understand how can they help you and how we can help you alongside with them to actually start your AI journey. And these are conversation starters about AI. I think it's important for you to have these conversations internally. What is your AI strategy? How do you currently analyze the data? What approach are you taking to apply the AI data? If you recall at the beginning of my presentation, I told you if we're in a live room and I just capture your data, I captured your data. I don't know what's in your data, but I know, let's say it's social media data, or I know it's something. How are you going to analyze that data and understand and make sense of it and monetize it? So that's going to be a key decision for you. What results are you expecting? How is your current solution performing? Have you had challenges? Is your workload AI native? And by the way, a few years ago, we started talking about cloud native apps and applications. Today, I'm hearing the word AI native. Is your application or your data AI native or not? That's something you're going to start hearing more and more about. How are you leveraging Gen AI to create a competitive advantage? How are you leveraging AI to automate business processes? There is just the sky is kind of unlimited here with AI. So certainly there is a lot of things happening in this world. If you haven't dabbled with AI yet, I strongly advise you to, because you're going to be left behind if you haven't done anything with AI yet. And AI could be as simple as the chatbots that we have today, and it could be very complex. And I tell you something that we did with a grocery chain. They came to us with a problem where, and I was surprised to hear that, uh, they came to us with a problem that they're experienced a high volume of theft in some of their stores. And what they discovered is that people sometimes buy newspapers and magazines, and I didn't know that people still bought newspapers today. But anyway, they buy newspapers and magazines, and they open them, they stuff, I don't know, a pack of meat in it, chocolate, they whatever merchandise they have, and they just scan it on the self checkout. So we work with them in creating edge-based solutions with AI that actually check this anomaly as well. One of the, and of course, if gun, some countries have a gun problem. So one of the school districts came to us in North America and asked us to help them design a solution, an AI-based solution, to actually detect guns if somebody's going into a school with a gun. And again, we worked with them on, and again, this is not just about the hardware, it's about the hardware, it's about feeding the AI platform with data. What does a gun look like? And, you know, if you're wearing a jacket, how would the gun appears under the jacket, or if it's in your backpack? Like it was quite a project. So definitely it is an interesting project. So, and you could use that in airports, you could use that. Again, the sky is unlimited. So these are some of the questions that just starts the conversation about AI. And again, this is the theft prevention example I've mentioned, gun detection, and of course, emotion tracking. This is really key in stores. If you're walking an aisle and you saw some stuff there, are you smiling? Are you happy? Are you happy with your experience within the store or not? Traffic control, they use that a lot. So again, you can turn the signals red and green and yellow based on, you know, AI telling you traffic is busy on that street versus that street. Again, there are lots of use cases. These are some of the customers that we work with on their AI platforms. Again, I'm not going to talk about them, just they're out there. And I think I have 2 minutes to spare. Thank you.
A couple minutes. Thanks so much, Ayman. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them into the question panel at this time. Ayman, while we wait to see if some questions come in, I think those conversation starters around AI are really, really a helpful resource for everyone on the line. Think about your planning as you head into 2025 and the conversations you need to be having across the board as you assess your strategic direction for your IT departments. Those are definitely some great questions to be asking within your team and to kind of get the ball rolling. I mean, maybe you can share a little bit more with us around, you know, what's the impact of AI on cloud environments? What trends are we seeing there as businesses kind of look to structuring in a way that's going to be more conducive to support AI?
AI is becoming the buzzword, as I said. It has so many solutions and it has so many use cases. It really depends on what you want to achieve from your business. AI in the cloud may not be the best fit, or maybe it's the best fit. Again, it really depends. As an example, if you're using a lot of GPUs, then AI in the cloud is not the best investment there, because you're tying up a full CPU. You cannot slice and dice the CPU and the GPU, and GPUs are quite expensive. So you need to look for another alternative. So again, Unfortunately, Melanie, my answer is going to be it really depends on the use case and the studies you've made and your application. Is it AI native or not? However, since I still got the mic, I do want to say something. You mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that you're hearing about cloud repatriation. And I don't like to use the word repatriation. I'd like to use the word balance because balance is really the key word. The cloud is good for some workloads and applications. There is no doubt about that. So I think people are coming to the realization that they swung too far to the cloud. They're re-evaluating and they're actually doing the balancing, getting back some of the applications they moved where it did not make sense and keeping what made sense. As I said, at HPE, we're using Office 365 and we're using Workday in the cloud, but we're keeping some stuff on-prem because that's what made sense to us.
Thanks so much, Ayman. At this time, there's no more questions in the panel, so we're going to go ahead and close today's call. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone, we covered a lot of ground today, everything from security, containers, edge. There's a lot of ground here, and some of the challenges we have are just understanding the overall kind of environment we have and what to do in our with our infrastructure. So I do want to share with everyone, you're going to be hearing this from your QuadBridge account managers, but we have partnered with HPE to offer free data center assessments to all of our attendees today. You'll hear more about it in the follow-up communications from this event, but we're going to be leveraging a tool from HPE called Cloud Physics to offer assessments that you can have a better understanding of your environment. And to Ayman's point a little bit earlier around comparing costs in different cloud environments, you'll be able to get access to comparative costs on different cloud platforms and a lot more insights. Once again, you'll hear more about that in the follow-up communications from this event. So please keep an eye out for those communications along with the recording from this event. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Ayman, for leading today's discussion. And we hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.